Okay, when we think about getting married, our heads are filled with love, romance, partnership, all the good stuff. But what about the money side of things? What about making sure it's fair? That's what we're digging into today. What a woman should ask for in a prenup. And look, this isn't about planning for the worst. It's about planning for a secure future together. All right, let's just get right to it with a hard truth. Right now in 2024, there's still a pretty significant gender pay gap. For every single dollar a man earns, a woman makes about 85 cents. Now, you might think, oh, that's just 15 cents. But let me tell you, over an entire career, that adds up to a huge amount of money. We're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars. And that gap, it can become a really big deal if a marriage doesn't work out. So that leads to a really important question, right? How do you protect yourself from that built-in disadvantage? Well, the answer is a legal tool that honestly gets a really bad rap. And that's where prenups come in. This is exactly why they matter so much, especially for women. We really need to start thinking about them differently, not as some kind of red flag, but as a seriously smart way to make sure things are fair and secure right from day one. Okay, let's completely change how we think about this. A prenup is not a divorce plan. It's not. Think of it more like a financial blueprint for your marriage. You wouldn't build a house without a blueprint, right? This is the same idea. It's all about getting on the same page, creating clarity, and showing mutual respect for your financial future as a team. So if we're calling it a blueprint, what exactly should be in it? Let's break down the key things you'll want to think about including to make sure you're financially protected. All right, first up, the big stuff, your core security. We're talking about spousal support or alimony. A prenup can spell out exactly what that would look like, how much, for how long, which is a huge protection against those income gaps we mentioned. Then there's the marital home. You can decide what happens to it so you're not left scrambling for a place to live. Health insurance is another big one you can plan for. And of course, your retirement. You want to make sure your 401k, your IRA, all that hard-earned money for your future is protected, no question. Beyond that, a prenup is just amazing for creating clarity, drawing clean lines. For example, you can make it crystal clear that any gifts or inheritance you get from your family stay your separate property. That's huge. Or hey, if one of you owns a business, you can figure out exactly how to handle that income and those assets. And this one is so important. It can protect you from any debt your partner is bringing into the marriage. It's really about knowing where you both stand from the very beginning. But a really good prenup isn't just about what's in your bank account. It goes deeper. It can actually recognize contributions to a marriage that don't come with a paycheck but have a massive financial impact. Think about it. What if you decide to pause your career to raise kids? Or maybe you move for your spouse's job and take a step back professionally. That is a major financial sacrifice. And a smart prenup can actually put a value on that, on your lost earning potential, and make sure you're compensated fairly for it if things don't work out. This is the key takeaway here. The work you do managing a home, raising a family, supporting your partner, that has real, tangible economic value. A prenup is your chance to get that down on paper, to formally acknowledge it so that you're not left at a financial disadvantage down the road. Okay, so now that we know what should go in, it's just as important to talk about what can't. There are some definite rules here, and if you want your prenup to actually hold up in court, you've got to play within those boundaries. So here's the deal. A prenup is powerful when it sticks to the money. Courts will enforce all the stuff we've talked about, finances, property, debt, but they will throw out what are called lifestyle clauses. Things like, you have to do the dishes, or penalties for cheating, or weird rules about weight gain. Nope, not enforceable. And the absolute biggest no-no is anything related to child custody or support. That is always decided by a judge based on what's best for the kids at that time, period. All right, so you've got all this info, you know what you want, but how in the world do you bring this up with your partner? Let's be real, this can be the trickiest part of the whole process. But if you handle it right, it can actually make your relationship even stronger. So here's the game plan for the talk. First, just be open and honest. Frame it as a practical thing, just another part of planning your life together, like talking about where you'll live or buying a car. The magic words are clarity and mutual respect. Make it super clear that this has nothing to do with a lack of trust. It's actually the opposite. It's about trusting each other enough to be completely transparent about money and plan for the future as a team. And that kind of leaves us with the final question to chew on, doesn't it? We live in a time where we're all about equality and open communication in our relationships. So maybe, just maybe, a prenup isn't this old-fashioned, cynical thing we thought it was. Maybe it's actually the ultimate act of financial transparency, a sign of a truly strong modern partnership. What do you think?